What's up, everyone? It's Bones here. In today's video, I'll be revisiting the Dogmatika ritual deck as I've made some updates to the list and wanted to show some replays with it. But before I begin, if you could happen to click on those thumbs up and subscribe buttons, it would be greatly appreciated as it goes a long way in supporting the channel and shows me that you like content like this. Clicking on those notification bells would also mean a lot as they notify you when I upload on the channel. So in this first replay, we'll be going second, and we do have the Lava Golem, but our opponent opens 3-card combo with the Passcode starter and the Jet, and he also has an Imperm plus an extra starter to set, and we'll see him start with the Live Twin engine. He's going to go into the Kill, and then from here he'll be able to use its effect to get back a Leela, and then he'll link away into a copy of Leela as he'll use its effect, getting back the Kill, and then he'll be able to use the Kill in order to draw one as he gets into a Book of Eclipse, and then from here we'll see him go for the Trouble Sunny as he'll finally start his sprite plays with the starter, and he'll bring out the blue. The blue will net him a search, which will likely get red here, and he does get the red as he special summons it. Then he can special summon out the Jet, use the Jet's effect in order to get him to double cross, as he'll then set 4 and pass the turn. So from here we'll be able to start our turn, and we do draw into the Libromancer trap, so not even the greatest going second hand, but the Lava Golem sure does help things, and we'll see that our opponent is going to shotgun the starter for the carrot, and then we'll go into the main phase as we're going to use the Lava Golem to tribute the Trouble Sunny and the carrot, and then from here we'll activate the Nadir Servant, send an Entis in order to get our ritual, and then from here we'll be able to use Entis effect in order to bait out the red, and then from here, after he activates the red, we'll use the Libromancer Fire in order to start getting our plays going, as we'll use its effect, bring out Geek from our deck to our hand as we'll special summon out the Geek, and then from here we can use its effect, which will get us a search for the field spell, and then from here we can activate the field spell in order to get us into the Doom Broker, then activate the Dogmatika ritual spell as we'll be able to bring out White Knight, and we're doing this in order to have a response in case our opponent has a response to our Doom Broker, and from here we'll activate Libromancer field spell as we'll ritual summon the Libromancer Doom Broker, attack over the red, and then from here we can set the Libromancer trap that we drew, and in the end phase we'll use the Titaniclad in order to get the Dogmatika Ecclesia, as we'll use its effect in order to get ourselves the search for the Fleur, and from here we'll just pass. So my opponent is going to open Jet for turn as he's going to take the Lava Golem damage, and from here we'll then see the White Knight of Dogmatika trigger, which is a cool interaction. He is going to Imperm that, which is what he held the Imperm for, and then from here we're going to negate that with the Libromancer trap. I believe it's called Intervention, but we'll return the Doom Broker to our hand as we'll be able to bring back the Fire, and then from here we'll send an Entis. We'll use Fire as Chainlink 1, the Entis is Chainlink 2 in order to get rid of the blue so he has no more level 2 stuff that he can do as far as our knowledge goes. But we'll get ourselves the Geek, and then from here we'll see our opponent scoop as he turns the Lava Golem into attack, and it's because he didn't have a play from here, while we had the Fleur for any possible extra deck summon, and then we still had a follow-up with the Ritual spell, and he knew that we also had the Doom Broker, along with another copy of Geek. So just a cool replay of how this deck can go second, and that's not even using all of the gas cards. So now I want to show a replay going first, and this will be against Pure Sprite, and this is what I mean by the gas cards that we could have drawn into for going second, because the one thing that is really good about this deck is that not only can you play slots for going second cards, but stuff like Dogmatika Tricks and Ecclesia both have arguably better effects when they are going second. As far as the Ecclesia, it's arguably, but the Dogmatika Tricks gets you 2 searches if your opponent has a monster. So that's just crazy by itself. So we're going to start this one, and we're going to activate the Dogmatika Tricks, as this will get us a search for the Dogmatika Calamity. We'll then be able to activate the Fire, as we'll then be able to get a search off of it, as we're going to get the Geek. The Geek can then special itself, as we'll be able to get the Libromancer field spell, and then from here, once we get the field spell, we'll have access to the Doom Broker that will search off the field spell right now, spell, and then we'll be able to use the Libromancer field spell in order to tribute off the 2 Libros in order to get our Doombroker, use the Doombroker in order to get our trap, and then from there we'll normal summon our Ecclesia, use the Ecclesia's effect as we'll get the Dogmatika Central, and then we'll activate the Dogmatika Central, we'll use the Dogmatika Calamity, and what we're doing here is basically making the most out of Albazoa, and versus some decks this can be an FTK by itself, which is what this replay will focus on showcasing, as we're going to use the Dogmatika Central off of the ritual summon of the Albazoa, and this will be able to send their first copy of Gigantic Sprite. We'll use the effect of the Zoa, and we're doing the Zoa in order to let our opponent choose what they want to send, and then with the Dogmatika tricks, we can end up sending something else. So we'll use the Dogmatika tricks, which will end up sending the second copy of Gigantic Sprite, and then from here we'll pass on to our opponent's turn, as they're going to open a starter. They're going to use the Prosperity, which is risky because they will put themselves down to 4 cards left in extra deck. They are going to get an Imperm though, which I guess doesn't really matter when looking at our end board. From here, they'll activate the Book of Eclipse, and we're going to have to activate the Intervention in order to negate that, and then from there we'll bring back our Fire. We'll use the effect of the Fire in order to get a search for the Geek, as our opponent is now going to activate the Imperm on the Zoa. It doesn't really matter, again, it's just a way for Sprite to out the Albazoa, but when looking at our hand, it's kind of why I say that it doesn't matter, especially when they have 4 cards left in extra deck and we have the knowledge of what they are. So our opponent will activate the Talents, and he'll be able to use the effect in order to return a card. He said that he actually wanted to take the Zoa, but he was scared to send cards from my extra deck to the graveyard, so he'll activate the starter, get out the blue, as he'll be able to use the blue's effect, and he's going to scoop because I believe he ended up going through all of his jets while not having access to any power extra deck card that he wanted to use in order to really get through this board or any of the follow-up that came with it. So I know it was a couple of fast replays, but it was because I felt they did a good job in showing the capabilities of what the deck can do. As you'll see, I've trimmed the Libro stuff into 2/2/2, and the reason I've done this is because I just didn't want to keep on seeing as many engine cards, and I know that I've increased the deck to 44 cards, and then looking at 16 slots for generic stuff here, it may not look like enough at first glance, but the thing is that you have the 3 Nadir Servant, you have the 3 Prosperity, which can dig for this stuff, the Dogmatika Tricks is better going second than it is going first, so is the Ecclesia, the Herald is technically a going second normal summon, as it allows you to also send an Entis, so there's just a lot there. I increased the deck to 44 because of the 1-ofs that we do have here. You don't really want to clog on them, as you saw in that first going second hand, we actually did open the Dogmatika Calamity along with the Cabre, but the cool thing about this deck is that as long as you have one of your 2 power starters, you're able to get a lot of momentum from it, paired with whatever else you have in hand, either help you make a strong end board or break a board. Being able to rip extra deck cards from your opponent while benefiting from it happening to you when you rip your own is also a big advantage that this deck has that I believe is really underrated. You'll see that I also have the Ultimate Slayer here. It's a thrust target, and because we have so many good normal spell cards that we would want to search, like the Nadir Servant, the Evenleaves, the Prosp, I just feel it's a no-brainer to play the thrust package. The Ultimate Slayer just becomes a going second version of the Dogmatika Punishment, though you're using a different card to search for it. Now, at this point of time, these maybe can be kaijus because of Arise Heart Pass, but being able to play cards like Lava Golem, looking at the side deck, this is sort of outdated, but you could end up putting Denko Sekkas in here because you don't really normal summon like that either. But the one thing that I did like about this side deck is the ability to interchange Crossout and Thrust, because this just helps you solve a lot of the problems that you may lose to, like D-Barrier or Droll. I believe that the biggest weakness that this deck has may actually be going first, because you can make strong enough boards, but they aren't anything overwhelming. It's what's going second that really shines about this deck in my opinion. In certain formats where Albazoa is stronger though, its going first could become a lot more prevalent. But with all of that out of the way, I'll get onto the card by card. We'll start here with the Fleur, the 3 Ecclesia, the 3 Nadir, the 3 Lava Golems, the 1 Called By, the Talents, the 3 Fenrir. We then have the 1 Albazoa, the 1 White Knight, the Doom Broker, the 2 Field Spells, the 2 Geeks, the 2 Fires, the 2 Herald, the 1 Intervention, the 3 Dogmatika Tricks, the 3 Prosperity, the 1 Dogmatika Central, the 1 Dogmatika Calamity, the 1 Dogmatika Cabre, the 2 Eclipse, the 2 Imperms, the 1 Evenly, the 1 Ultimate Slayer, and the 2 Thrust to round out the main deck. Into the extra deck, we have the Baron, which you could make off the Herald along with a Fire. This is even better when you have the Ecclesia because you're able to normal summon out your Herald, send an Entis or the Herald, get yourself a Search or a Pop, and then use the effect of Fire, bring itself out, go into the Baron after you get your searches, and you can special summon out your Ecclesia. It becomes a replacement level 4 for the Fire in order to bring out your Doom Broker with the Ecclesia and the Geek that's left on board after you go into your Baron with the Herald and the Fire. The Omega, the 2 Heralds, the Entis, the Garura, and the Titaniclads, I believe, are all self-explanatory. The Dragon Master Knight is really just any level 12 fusion or synchro for your Albazoa. You then have the Zeus, which I play for Redoer. I think it's good to have a rank 4 option in this deck, and Redoer being able to linger around on the board feels like it did the most for this deck. We then have the 1 copy of Aggregator, the 1 copy of the Farigit. Farigit could be Bucephalus, but I didn't feel the need for it, as being able to get the draw is better most of the times, and you really just want to send your 1 card from the extra deck. There's no reason to trim your extra deck in this one when you have cards like Dogmatika Tricks, Dogmatika Calamity, and the Central to bring that stuff out, as well as the Nadir Servants and the Heralds. And then finally, we have the 1 copy of Almirage. Round out the extra deck. Onto the side deck, we have the 1 Droll and the 1 Ash. They're cross-out targets, and they're ones that kind of hurt the deck the most, that are also seeing play right now. The 3 Twin Twisters for Anti-Spell. Anti-Spell kind of does wreck this deck pretty hard, but you do want a response to it. Hence a lot of the back row stuff too. As you see, we're on 2 Lightning Storms and a Harpy's Feather Duster, and this can probably be changed as well. The side deck is outdated, but I don't think that it's unusable because still is a lot of merit with the Thrust being in here. So we'll then see the Appointer, the D-Barrier, the Dogmatika Punishment, which I chose to side deck because it just doesn't do enough going second, and this deck shines at going second, so I felt like if you want to focus on the strength of the deck, it has to be through its going second, and that's ultimately why Ultimate Slayer's in there. And then finally, we have the 2nd copy of Evenly. Anyways, if you made it this far into the video, I thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave them down below. It's Bones, signing out.